Is Sheriff Joe Arpaio the toughest and most famous sheriff in America, or a power-hungry local lawman who has manipulated the media to get a national platform? The documentary The Joe Show says both.
I'm getting tougher and tougher and tougher.
The whole world was intimidated by him.
I want jail to be punishment.
There's nothing in the Constitution that says just because you haven't been convicted, you can't wear pink underwear, live in no air condition, and eat bologna sandwiches.
You know, when our critics say that we humiliate inmates, give me a break.
They engaged in a clear cover-up, killed a human being, and yet they're promoted.
But they died in the most cruel way.
Sheriff Joe Arpaio is that controversial lawman who has won 6 elections to his position in Maricopa County, Arizona. He joins us from Phoenix. Randy Murray is the director of The Joe Show and also joins us from Phoenix. He followed the sheriff around for 8 years. It is a pleasure to have you both with us. Sheriff, it's good to have you back on the show, but last time it was to talk about a documentary that was critical of you. Now you're here to talk about another one that doesn't pull any punches, but you gave Randy unprecedented access. Why did you do that? Why would you say yes?
Why not no? Why? I'm the elected sheriff. I report to the people. I don't run a CIA secret operation, so I have nothing to hide. They can follow me around for 50 years. Doesn't bother me at all.
Randy, you talk about how you became friends with the sheriff, but you wrote a statement in which you argue that he believes there's no such thing as bad publicity, and you ask pretty toughly, you say, can democracy survive when entertaining the public becomes more important than protecting them?
Yeah, it's a tough thing when you have law enforcement running for office, and his first obligation is to the voters and to reach out to them and be active in television when actually he should be protecting them, and it's a conflict, and it's an important story that really to date has not been told.
Sheriff, how do you respond to that? Because about the same time as Randy started following you around 8 years ago, you started aggressively rounding up immigrants who were here illegally, and the film brings up an investigation that showed you had made great progress in response times to emergencies, and that evaporated when you started pouring resources into immigration.
You know, I'll be here for 20 hours trying to defend myself. I'm not criticizing Randy. But I'm not going to get into the illegal immigration. I do have some pending cases in federal court. Department of Justice still after me after 100 days Obama took office. So let's leave it at that. But I was enforcing the law, and that's what I took an oath of office to do. I think I do a pretty good job with the dedicated employees that I have. Been in law enforcement 57 years, including director in Mexico, South America, Texas, and Arizona, the U.S. Drug Enforcers. I think I know where the border is. I know the problem, and I speak out. So why is something wrong with me speaking out? It's not because I'm strictly a politician, but I'm not afraid of the media, and Randy knows that. He had complete access. So, and I'm not stupid, I don't think. You think I'll let somebody follow me around and blast me if I wasn't able to defend myself?
Well, let's talk about some of the things you've had to defend yourself against. The Justice Department said that you oversaw the worst racial profiling by law enforcement in history, that you were arresting people for looking Mexican. And Randy's documentary shows you going into a small town for immigration enforcement, and the mayor there didn't even want you there, but you dismissed her. Do you believe that at any point that your department went too far?
Nope, my people do not, they're not racist, and that's a decision now in the federal court. I'm not going to talk about it, but if you forgot to say with that mayor, we do the law enforcement, they hire us, and we're still there, by the way, so evidently we're still doing a great job.
Now, Randy, your film, go ahead, Randy, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't think it's really in question whether he's doing a great job, and I think that's important to note. He is a great law enforcement officer, but he's probably a greater promoter of law enforcement in America, and it's serving the two masters that causes the problem. And when you watch the film, as you've been pointing out, there's lots of cases that are questionable things that happen, but are they happening because of law enforcement, or are they happening because to compete in that media market, you really have to raise the bar every single time. You have to be more controversial.
Right, and the film clearly doubts the sincerity sincerity of his fight against illegal immigration. You see it, it seems, as a way that he has to gain political and financial support. And in your statement, you said that his desire for fame corrupts everything he does. Those are strong charges.
You know, the sheriff has accused me of doing a hit piece, and I tell him, no, I am not doing a hit piece, but I'm afraid you are. I think that the case, the truth, that when you put all this together, what bubbled up as we made this film was the fact that there's with the new media, there's a danger in America that we're not seeing that's happening, that's corrupting the democracy that we love and trust. And we need to have a discussion about this. We need to start to say, do we want law officers running for office every 2 years?
Right, that's the question. It's because obviously you need
well, you got to start 2 years out.
You need publicity and you need to raise money and all those things. But Sheriff, because of the racial profiling issues and others that you're in the process that you're dealing with, you're in the process of disbanding your immigration squad. Are you going to back off in the fight against illegal immigration?
Let me tell you something. I've been the sheriff 22 years. I'll be the longest serving sheriff in 6 months. So evidently the people like what I'm doing. I didn't take on this immigration when I first took office. I've done a lot of other things for 15 years. So when you say that the immigration is the focal point, that's wrong. I've been reelected 6 times and expect to be again in 2 years. So let's stop the immigration and talk about the overall performance that gets me elected constantly.
Yeah, but you certainly did spend a lot of time and a lot of money on immigration, but
It's a hard thing to watch for him, I'm sure. There's no sharper blade than the truth, but that doesn't mean we still can't appreciate each other's
and it doesn't mean that the truth is there either, because I can defend myself on everything that's in that movie. But why waste my time on your show? But Randy did a great job. I wish him success, and he has his job, I have mine, and that's the way it is.
It is very good of both of you to join us. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Joe Show is available online and through video on demand. It's time now to see what's trending on the web. Let's check back in with Hermela.